Hello again, people. Welcome back. Today we're going to deal with the exhaust system. As I said, I plan to put an exhaust flap on this bike because I don't really want it to be stupid loud all the time. I get it. If I lived next door to somebody who was firing up a really loud bike at 7:15 in the morning, I'd be quite upset by it. So I'm going to try not to do that. So the exhaust that's on the bike, I don't fully understand it, I'll be honest. It is a Highway Hawk. I looked up the Highway Hawk. The Highway Hawk is a aftermarket performance exhaust for this bike. What I can't get my head around is I was always under the impression, and I'm not wrong with this, it's a well-known fact, you want your exhaust to be equal lengths for making sure that your back pressure is the same on both cylinders. Now to me, they're not equal lengths. You've got one really long one and one short one. Unless there is some sort of restrictor in one of them so that they are both the same. Don't know. I don't particularly adore this exhaust, to be honest. Not really my thing. Don't really like the kick up. So I've gone and bought some silencers. I've bought a pair of these. Now these are the same silencers that are on my Harley Davidson. They are completely standard silencers. There's a lot of reasons why I bought these. I bought them because I like the look of them. I also bought them because I know how loud they are, because I've got one. So, I mean, sometimes you buy a silencer and it is just, there's like nothing in it. It's just stupid loud. Don't want that. So we know they're quiet. That's a good thing, that's a bonus. And I know that on my Harley and on these, there is a crossover pipe that goes from one silencer to the other. Again, the reason for that, try and keep the back pressure the same, equalise the two exhausts so it's even. So I want to utilise the holes, so you join the two together and then have these two going into the exhaust flap, which will partly bypass the silencer, and then we'll have some noise, only when we want some noise. The other thing I've got is, because I spend money when I need to spend money, but I'm not a huge fan of spending money. I've got a throttle body off a Volkswagen Golf diesel. So we're going to pull that apart, try and figure out how to just have a simple ground and power straight to it to operate the flap. We're going to have a button on the bike and just push the button, flap opens, noise, push the button, flap shuts. We can be stealth-like. So I'll mess with that first, and then we'll pull, I won't pull this off actually, leave this on and we'll snip her off, and sort of eyeball the silencers. It's a plan. Okay, so the throttle body. Pulled her apart, got your motor, got your gears, those flappy things, got a circuit board. I think the reason for the circuit board, because on modern cars, I say modern, I sort of live in the 90s, so anything after that to me is modern. I think what happens is when you smack the throttle flat out, you don't get flat out. The ECU looks at the vehicle speed and the load on the engine and yada yada yada, all that stuff, and it makes a calculation, decides how much to open the throttle to give you the maximum acceleration. So for that reason, we got this board full of magical wizards that all have calculators, and they make a decision on how much to open that. So we don't want the board, we got rid of it, and I have soldered, because there is no direct line from here to the motor. So I've soldered to these pins from the motor to the pins. Soldering ain't the best because, to be fair, when you try soldering it, obviously it's plastic, so it all melts and goes all there and gooey and makes a bit of a mess. But it does work. So I will show you that now. Okay, we're all set up. Like I said, just ground, live, and there we go. So you can have noise, no noise, noise, no noise. Nice and simple. Perfection. Okay, the exhausts have gone. There are a pile of rubble on the floor. New exhausts in place. They're not properly in place. They haven't been welded yet. That one's, I've hammered that one in there. That one's pretty tight. This one's still a little bit wibbly wobbly. But what I plan to do is tack them where they are. Then I'll remove the exhaust, seam weld them properly. Other thing that's happened, the rear foot peg is gone. I was going to cut them off anyway, but it was in my way for cutting the exhaust off, so it went. I can't see any restriction in one of the exhausts, so I don't know why one was so massively longer than the other one. I know it's not accurate. Just gives you a rough idea. Put some tape around that pipe and then transfer that tape to the other pipe right from the flange, and it gives you some idea if we're in the ballpark. And obviously it's not quite, that one's ever so slightly longer. It's only by a tiny bit, and although that one is longer, it has a narrowed area here, so they might actually be closer than you think. Obviously we are going to have an equalizer pipe, so that will help. It doesn't really matter, to be fair. I mean, once you open your exhaust flap, then all bets are off. So yeah, that's what's happened there. We are going to mount the exhaust flap, hopefully, up under the swing arm. I'm going to take a pipe from there across, another little pipe from here down and across, and have the two join and go into the flap. That's the plan. As far as the flap's concerned, I'll show you something about the flap. When I was at college, many years ago, this is how I was taught to do a gasket. If you want to do a paper gasket, you take your, obviously, gasket paper, not just paper. You rub it with a dirty finger, which gives you your outline. And you take a ball peen hammer. Can't find my ball peen hammer, but you get the idea. You hit it, cuts the gasket, and there you are, you made a gasket. When it comes to the holes, they're a bit of a problem if you're dealing with small holes. So with this one, we've made a gasket. You've got an issue here. You are never going to get a hammer in that corner. It's just not going to happen. So a long time ago, my brother bought me these magical things. So you can use these to go in there and tappy tappy tappy, you've got a hole. So I made a gasket, and then I used the gasket to make a steel flange. Again, use of cardboard. There's an abundance of cardboard in the world, and it costs nothing. So you may as well get it right with the cardboard, then transfer it to steel. So that's sort of where I am right now. Right, we are making progress with the exhaust. It's just slow going because it's a lot of work. It doesn't look like a lot of work, but it's just awkward work. So I'll show you. Here's the front pipe. It goes all the way back here, and then disappears behind there, and the other pipe is fed from here, and then they both disappear down in there. See, I've sort of tacked it, trying to make this piece where they both join together wasn't particularly much fun. I have been using a bit of rubber hose just to assist me, because you can jam that hose inside of one of the elbows, and then it just sort of stays there. Because the hose stays there, it just makes it easier to measure how long of a piece of pipe you need. Have come across a little bit of an issue, because if I continue welding, they will both be fixed together, and then I can't get in there to weld that, so I'm going to have to put a joiner somewhere so both exhausts can be removed separately. I'm using these mild steel elbows because you need quite a tight elbow. This is all mild steel, by the way, it's not stainless. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you want to know if it's stainless or not, just put a magnet on it. Stainless is not magnetic. That's a stainless bolt, not magnetic. It's really easy to tell. We are going to have to try and figure out some sort of bracket to stop this from, I mean, it seems pretty stiff, but stop it vibrating, because that might cause problems. Don't really want that sort of jiggling about like Melinda Messenger. See, told you it was from the 90s. Melinda Messenger. I have got this. As you can tell, I've had it a long time by the state of it. Barely ever used it, because that's about as much of a bend as you're ever going to get out of it, and that's quite thick pipe, and you can see how rippled it's made the pipe. Puts ripples on the inside, and these mandrels tend to dent the outside. So if you ever decide to buy one of those thinking that you can bend exhaust pipe, you will be massively disappointed. So don't do that. If you want to bend exhaust pipe, you need to buy a mandrel bender, and they are, well, it's just not worth it. Unless you're a professional exhaust bender, there's no point. They're too much money, way too much, like thousands. So, I mean, I'm not a million miles away, but it's just, it is a lot of work. So I'll crack on with it. Okay, the exhausts are more or less done. It was a hell of a lot of work. Like I said, it doesn't look like a lot of work, but it turned out to be a lot of work. It's just awkward. So I'll show you what's been achieved. I've got my corduroy shirt on because I was welding. Got to cover your sleeves up, people. Don't worry, I'm not at the stage yet where I walk into a shop and think, oh, corduroy trousers, they look comfortable. Not quite, nearly, not quite. Okay, I have had to, like I said, cut the pipe. So I've cut it there. We're gonna get a sleeve. So I have to order a sleeve to go over there, to sleeve the two together, because it's impossible to get the exhaust off in like one go. So yeah, it's all like seam welded. I do intend to sort of grind a lot of the weld back, but this exhaust from like there all the way to the silencer will be wrapped, and the equalizer pipe will be wrapped, and then the silencer, I think I'm just going to go spray it matte black, which probably won't be easy because it's chrome, but we'll give it a go. You can see under there the old throttle body. That's all done. You can see this really important piece of cardboard. Yeah, want to give that a poke? That'd be nice. I probably didn't explain massively well the reason for using a throttle body. It's because I had it, basically. I'm a saver. I tend to keep stuff. I'd kept it because I intended to put an active exhaust on my Hillman, So it's cost me nothing. That's basically why I'm using it. If I go and buy a Chinese one, like a proper exhaust flap, it probably wouldn't be as reliable as a proper throttle body. So that's why I'm using it, basically. That's about the size of it. Yeah, that's about it. I am gonna, like I said, hopefully grind the welds down a bit. Don't have to go mad with it. Like with this one at the front, that one has been properly ground down, but if you're gonna wrap it, there ain't a huge amount of point in wasting your time. I am gonna try and put a video out every week. Hopefully, I mean, I have a full-time job, full-time wife, full-time house, full-time arthritis. It's not very nice, that, by the way. So I'll do my best. I want to get on with it. So yeah, that's... Oh, one other thing. The fuel tank does leak. But it's not all bad news. It leaks, not from the banjo, that's perfect. Not from the rubber gasket, it leaks from the bolts like I suspected it would. I think the reason for that is because I can't wind the bolts down hard enough onto those copper washers so they're not sealing. So I've ordered some fibre washers and we'll keep the old mittens crossed that does the trick. Maybe. Anyway, that's about it. I didn't honestly think I wasn't going to fire it up, did ya? Let's see what happens. Right, that's flap shut. This is flap open. Pretty happy with that, to be fair. That's good news. So yeah, that's about it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.